Mental Training 101. And now back to Get Warrior Tough with Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. Dutch and Andrew and Dutch. Most monumental hour in media anywhere. Dutch is at the Dutch Coleman. I'm a Warrior Tough PhD on the Twitter. Use the hashtag Get Warrior Tough. All right, Dutch, we're bringing it home. Final segment. I wanted to talk about this. This really cuts, and a lot of people, are going to be like, "Yep, I know that's right." Get out of my back pocket and quit micromanaging me if you want me to stay at your company.
Everyone's nodding their head right now.
Yeah, they're like, right? Listen, when you're standing over my shoulder, breathing down my neck, micromanaging me, it's like you don't trust me. Stop nagging me. Get off me, man. It's like, when I was a kid, Dutch, I'm like, oh, I'm going to surprise mom and dad. I'll take the trash out without being asked. And as you're on the way to the kitchen, they go, Andrew, take out the trash. And I'm like, you know what? Now I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Done. Not happening. Do you feel me on this? All right. Do you feel me on this?
Yeah, you're so right, though. I mean, you're so right. Everyone hates that. That's like a common theme there, being micromanaged. You go through all this training, you get all this responsibility and all that. And then you have people trying to do your job and try. I had a guy who I took over a territory one time, and the territory was doing horribly. I mean, it was just doing horrible. It was just bad. And I was brought in. And,
I love this story.
and it just took off, man. It just took off.
Yeah, you come in and it takes off, right? Yeah.
And my boss had the nerve to give me advice on what to do. And I'm sitting there like, this was your territory. This was your personal responsibility before I came along, and it did horribly. So he actually asked me, why aren't you doing what I asked you to do? And I'm sitting there like, no, why would I do what I asked you to do? What you asked me to do, and it was horrible when you were doing it.
Right.
I'm trying to do the opposite of everything you were doing.
I just do the opposite of what you tell me is going to be better than what it was. Right. Yeah.
That's what we do. That's what we do as managers.
And did you stay there? No, you're here now, so I know that micromanagement didn't work. I know how the story turned out, but I just wanted to let the listeners know. Yeah, you didn't stay there. You're still not there. I know, right? But it's like a pandemic. It's totally a pandemic. All right, and then here's another one that it's a total, stop having meetings that have nothing. I mean, just meeting upon meeting upon meeting upon meeting. Stop with the conference calls, with the go-to invitations. Stop, man, stop. Just stop.
My goodness. The sand traps, the sidebars, whatever you want to call it. It's just bad. Because
they'll start, you end up what we call in a sand trap. They'll start off, there's really no agenda. Someone will ask a question that throws the thing completely into the sand trap, right, off the rails. We'll go down this rabbit hole for 2 hours. And when we leave, we still nothing was accomplished. There's no action steps, and we're still not doing anything.
The boss wonders why everyone's behind.
Listen, bosses, if you need an audience, start podcasting. Okay, just get a podcast. Let anybody build your audience. Your employees are not there to be your audience, man, so that you could just have meetings. And, if you want a radio show, get one. Dutch and I did. We stopped having meetings. We don't even have meetings anymore. We just do it on the show. Right?
Yeah. All facts, man. I'm telling you, all facts.
Our meetings are they last seconds. The rest of the time, we're hanging out. We're having fun because we like being in each other's company. Man. We don't waste time on that stuff. All right, so and everybody's what I'm right on this, right? Between the micromanaging
everyone's shaking their head, man. Yeah, everyone's shaking their head at home right now. They're shaking their head.
And then there's this one. Listen, when I was a corporal in the Marine Corps, I first got promoted to corporal, and I heat stroked in Panama. So I was in Panama and I heat stroked. So I was I couldn't stay out in the sun much. I didn't leave the theater, but while I was healing, I couldn't do a lot of physical labor. So I had a couple Lance Corporals. They called me Corporal Do Nothing because I wasn't sharing the workload. Yeah, so I was Corporal Do Nothing, right? Because I wasn't sharing the work. They're getting mad because that is not how I operate, though, Dutch. Right? I operate I don't do it it was medically because that, and it really bugged me that they tagged me with that because that's not what. Here's how I lead from the front and by example. So if I ask you to clean the toilets, I'm going to be in there cleaning the toilets with you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a problem. Like, no one likes a boss who, and again, rank has its responsibilities. No one likes a boss who comes in late and leaves early, but then writes you up for like coming in 10 minutes late from lunch.
You know, it's funny you say that. As a Marine, my dad is a Marine also, and he always said when he always had his troops, when they had to do something, he did it first, and he always held himself to their physical standards for his whole career.
Yeah.
Whatever they had to make physically with their PT runs and stuff, he made sure that he could do all their stuff.
Yeah, regardless of age, absolutely.
Regardless of age, and he was able to do it through his entire career.
That's like a mind. So I'm probably one of the people always ask me what my what's your the thing you're most proud of, and I don't really share this much. I would say it's my PhD, but it's not. It's the old man award I got when I was deploying to Afghanistan, and I was like 42 years old with a bunch of 25-year-old Marines, SEALs, and Rangers, and I was passing the PT as a 21, 22-year-old at 42, and I got the old man award, man. I was like the oldest dude in the class and was killing it. That's probably what I'm most proud of right there. But that's that same thing. Like, so I still held myself to the youngest PT, because as you get older, like that's people like, I can't wait till I'm 40. I don't have to run the 3 miles and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, man, yes, you still should. But anyway.
They respect you.
Yeah.
They respect you. They love it. They everything you say has more credibility because they know you've done it and you're willing to do it.
And that's the whole deal, right? So I'm tired of bosses that they're not credible because they're not doing the job. They're leading from behind or leading from behind the desk or leading from under the desk. Because I was like, he was on the joint, what was he? I was on Lieberman's detail, and he was on one of the committees. And he was like, well, Andrew, you and your partner think you're so bad if there's, if a gunfight. I said, dude, you'd be under the desk if there was a gunfight, man. I'm in front of the senator catching bullets. You're under the desk, dude. And everybody in the whole place was just like, crickets. They're like, oh, you're right, man. Like, so don't try to be like you're a leader unless you're going to lead, man. Like, this is a huge deal that you're faking it. You don't hold yourself to the same standards that you hold everybody else. You come in late, you leave early, you do whatever. But I just, dude, that's a fast way to get people to disengage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the other good news about doing it that way is you let people know, and this is another thing my dad taught me, you let people know that what you're asking of them is possible. You can show them. And when you're willing to do that, when you're willing to like you used, I think, like cleaning, what you guys call it, the latrine?
Oh, we call it the head.
The head? Okay, yeah. So when you clean the heads.
Right.
And you're showing them, hey, man, you got to do this. You got 20 minutes to clean it. Well, I'm going to show you first that it can be done in 20 minutes.
Right, and to the standard that we do it.
Yes. Yes.
This is why people I don't like to delegate. No, because when you delegate, you just tell them what to do, and your brain is such a mess up here, you can't clearly communicate. You take them, you put them on your hip. You do it so many times with them till they can do it, and now we delegate. Like, that's how you delegate. They're on your hip, I always say, for 90 days. You're on my hip for 90 days. I teach you how to scrub the toilets for 90 days, and then I know that forevermore the toilets will get scrubbed right.
Yes.
Or whatever it is. And this is what I'm talking. The boss needs to go do it. You come on my hip, I'll show you what to do. But see, we don't want to do that because we're like, well, I don't have time for that. Well, what you don't have time for is to clean up the mess because you couldn't properly communicate and train what you're delegating for.
I tell you what, you do that a few times and you have a lifetime of respect. A lifetime of respect. You don't ever do it, you have a lifetime of resentment. People that you have no credibility. People don't want to be around you,
and they'll be ridiculing you as you walk by, not in front of your back, but behind your back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it will spread like a virus throughout the organization, throughout the what do you call it? The platoon, the true, like whatever your organization is, it'll spread.
Whatever the team is, right? That's why I had to get off that the corporal do nothing thing, man. I'm like, well, so I didn't even care that I was on light duty. I was like, well, back to work. They're like, it'll kill you. I'm like, well, better than that than to be corporal do nothing, man. No, I'm serious. I'm like, that ain't happening.
I believe you. But then none of them had covers on the more magazines and stuff, weren't you? Like,
that
Corporal Handsome and stuff.
That's
and
funny. Yeah. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. That's really what was going on. All right. All right. So I can't even believe I told you that story, the corporal do nothing story. But I am proud of being having the old man award. So here's the last thing. I know we're running out of time, but you don't appreciate and praise them properly. You don't recognize. Listen, Dutch, if I said, Dutch, you are doing a great job, what's that make you want to do?
Do a better job.
Yeah,
even
you
greater.
want to, right? You're going to engage. But if I said, you know what? You guys never get anything right. I'm sick of that. You can't get anything right. I tell you guys stuff. I buy you books. I take you to school, and you learn nothing. What's that make you want to do?
Give up, turn around, go away, do the opposite of what you asked me to do.
Right. And here's how the brain works. Like if you tell somebody, and I'm not talking about flattery. I'm talking about giving them an actual, praise, recognition, compliment of doing a good job. The brain releases this hormone called dopamine. It's the happiness hormone, right? And it makes you feel good. And you know what? That's like a drug being released. It makes you feel that good. It's the reward center. Like a lot of people, they get, they eat Oreos and they get dopamine. That's why they eat Oreos. This is very addictive. That's a lot of the addictions that are out there because it's a dopamine release. You could release dopamine. Listen, you could be like a crack dealer giving your people good compliments. They're going to engage just because they want to feel that good compliment again. And people are like, well, I shouldn't have to tell you did a good job because that's your job. That's what we expect you to do. Listen, dude, it ain't about you and them doing a good job. It's about, can you get the maximum engagement out of your people? And as a leader, that's your job to get the maximum engagement and performance out of your people. And the best way to do it is make them feel good, Dutch.
I know we got about 30 seconds left, but if you were sitting listening to us right now, when Andrew said that about, what's the statement you just made about the responsibility thing again, about getting the best out of your people?
Yeah, that's the job of the leaders to get the best, maximum engagement, maximum performance out of your people. That's the job.
And if you're the one that thinks the opposite of that, I guarantee you're not doing it. You're not getting it. I don't care how successful you think you're being, you're leaving a lot on the table by having that mentality. And you got to get on board. It's not about you. Your organization is suffering right now if you're not getting the best out of your people. Whatever you're meeting, whatever quotas or goals you're meeting, you could be doubling or tripling them right now if you were doing this thing. This is so valuable here.
According to another Gallup poll, they did a survey of 4 million people, 4 million employees who regularly receive praise and recognition. The ones that did were engaged and productive and likely to be loyal to the companies. And the ones that didn't regularly receive praise and recognition, they're out. Bye-bye. And it doesn't cost you anything. It ain't about do they want more money. It's do they want to be appreciated. And I liken it to being married to my smoking hot wife. What up, baby? Right? We've married a long time. But if I didn't ever appreciate her or recognize, I just said, you know what, honey? When we got married back in 1989, I said, I love you. And listen, if anything changes, I'll let you know. And then I never said anything. I never told her I loved her. I never told her I appreciated her. And then, 20 years later, she's like leaving me because I didn't appreciate it. I said, listen, baby, I told you when we got married that if anything changed, I'd let you know.
And it's sad that the dominant attitude, the prevailing, like it's the opposite of that. That's what, because there are people again shaking their heads. I ain't telling them this. I'm not kissing their tail. Right. I don't have to tell my employees that they need to just do their job. That's the dominant attitude right there, and that's sad.
And that's why 2/3 of the employees under your watch are disengaged, and the 33% that are engaged, they're looking for a way out, man. They're looking for the exit. Congratulations. You're a tough guy. Woo! I mean, seriously. Is that it, Dutch? Are we out of time?
That's it. We're out of time, but we're not out of stuff.
No, we're not.